We're really big on the 3 R's, and I add a 4th R, rigor, relevance, and relationships. So I hope that you'll sort of keep that in your mind as I go through and let you know a little bit about our school today. But then I also add the 4th R, which is reflection, and Tim Daggett also adds that on, which is reflection. So as you look at what I'm going to talk about today as far as our school and how we schedule children and what RTI means to us and some of the things that we've accomplished, be reflecting. If there are any questions that you may have, please feel free to ask. But I would like to put our school in a little bit of context first, and I'll start with our school district, which is Aldine ISD. I don't know if you're very familiar with our district. Stevens is one of 32 elementary schools in Aldine, and Aldine's the 11th largest district in the state of Texas with about 62,000 students. We do rank among the state's highest performing school districts. And we were the 2009 Broad Prize winner for urban education, which was quite an honor. We had been a finalist in 2004, 2005, and 2008. We called ourselves the Susan Lucci's of the Broad Prize until we actually won in 2009. So we've garnered a lot of attention, and Stevens is one of the schools at the district. We get a lot of visitors, and people come by to visit frequently. Sometimes I feel like I have to say no because we have to maintain our instructional programs, but our school is visited quite frequently. And the HEB Excellence in Education Award our district also won in 2008. And I'll get into the details of our performance, but just to give you an overview of our school, we are a large urban school, over 1,000 students, K-4, so we're a pretty large school. We have 71 professional staff members with 61 classroom teachers. We have music, PE, and technology applications. We have full inclusion. We have no resource. However, we enrolled 3 youngsters from out of the district who are arted into resource, so we're going to work with them, and they'll probably be on my reading coach. And we do have a full-time librarian. Here's a demographic and profile of our neighborhood, which is zip code 77039, which is in the middle of our neighborhood. The average home value of our neighborhood is $58,000. The average household income is $40,337. The median age is 27. 64% of our neighborhood is Spanish-speaking. The unemployment rate is above state and national averages, and only 4% of our neighborhood are college graduates. And that's a picture of our well-manicured lawn. I believe very strongly, having grown up in the neighborhood for most of our children, school is it's a place where they can come and be comfortable and be nurtured as learners, as readers, as writers, as thinkers, and they're going to be well taken care of. Here's how our school population compares to the state of Texas. So you can see we're 87% Hispanic, 87% economically disadvantaged, 54% of our students are second language learners, and 81% of our students are at risk. You will notice that our special ed population is slightly lower than the state. And these are some selected recognitions. We have been exemplary for 10 consecutive years, and that's without TPM. We're proud to say. We did receive gold performance acknowledgments in all academic areas: reading, writing, math, and comparable improvement in reading and math. In fact, on the AEIS reports for comparable improvement for schools similar to ours, we're the highest performing school in our group for both reading and math. We've been a Title I distinguished school for many years. We were featured in U.S. News and World Report last year as a part of the profile of our school district. And we were a TBEC Honor Roll School in 2007. And last year we were named one of the 14 winners of the National Excellence in Urban Education Award by the National Center for Urban School Transformation. And I'm also proud to say, or glad to say, let you know that, and I'll give you a copy of these later, but on the brochure that was slightly different last year, this year our theme for our school is Blast Off to Brilliance, because we're the stars. Last year it was the sky's the limit. But this was handed out in California to hundreds of people who came to see. And on the inside, on our computer-based programs, my reading coach and Lexi were right at the top. So I give credit where credit is due. And more importantly, this is a picture of two of our wonderful students who are reading. So I'll give you a quick overview of our performance data. This is reading and how our school compares to the state of Texas for the last 5 years. And this is tax, but I will also say, for the first time, I actually had the courage in our opening meetings with teachers as my opening presentation. I had a huge slide, and all it said was, passing tax is not the goal. Okay? I thought my teachers always got that and they understood it, but I finally was brave enough to actually get up and say, passing tax is not the goal. College preparedness is the goal. Passing tax is really minimal standards. So we shouldn't be really satisfied with less than 100% because all of our students should be on grade level or higher. But in 05-06, we were at 99 for reading, 99 in 06-07, 97, 97, and 96. So you can see they're quite a bit above the state average in reading. For math, 99, 97, 99, 98, and 97. And for writing, the same. Of course, writing is the part for second language learners. That's the last piece that comes along. But we're still very proud of our performance in writing as well. So our students outperform their Texas peers in every subject, every grade, every student group. If you looked at our AEIS report for every student group, we're above the state average for 10 consecutive years. But not only are students meeting minimal performance standards, commended performance is, of course, the highest standard. For all tests, 24 of our students get commended performance on all tests taken. In writing, slightly lower than what we'd like. Math, 63% of our students last year made a commended performance in math. In fourth grade, it was almost 70. And in reading, 42%. So Stevens students also perform at higher levels of mastery and not just minimal standards than their state peers. We have spent a lot of time talking about mastery learning. What does mastery learning look like? Well, you may say, well, Aldine gets a lot of special revenue funds. You have Title I school. You have all these extra monies to spend. Well, in actuality, for our school group, for like campuses, they spend $6,456 per student, and we actually spend less, $6,371 per student. So it's not even a matter of money. Our district is really big on Baldrige. Are you very familiar with Baldrige? Okay, we're very big on Baldrige. Which is peer review, which basically means every 3 years we have a peer review team to come in and look at every facet of how a school is run. And so these are selected best practices, which I'm going to share some time going through. Alignment and consistency. So here are some examples. We have classroom environment checklists of things that we expect to see in every classroom. Common aligned homework and checkpoints across all grade levels. Campus developed curriculum timelines that are based on the state standards and district benchmarks. And sustained and common staff development, the Model Classroom Project, Curry-Samara. With a focus on rigor and high expectations. So every child in our building, even kindergartners, complete a research project every single year, at least one. And I'll show you some pictures of that in just a moment. I'm also really, I think it's important for us to honor, recognize, and facilitate student questioning. A lot of times we do all the teaching, but we don't give children opportunities to generate their own curiosities. So we have Wonder Books and Wonder Journals for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th grade. Those are individual student journals. For K and 1, those are class Wonder Journals. The question of the week is posted outside of each classroom. Those are usually student generated, however sometimes teachers generate those to pique interest of their students. Posted TEKS of the learning objective with rubrics and differentiated instruction, and of course higher order thinking skills. So these are some pictures outside of various classrooms. Maybe you can read some of them. How long does it take to grow hair on your head? Why do people write in cursive? This is outside of a 2nd grade classroom. How do people eat with chopsticks? What do the colors of a rainbow represent? Why don't big kids get recess? Why is brushing teeth important? Why is it so hot in the fall? How many seeds are in a pumpkin? This was probably around, well, no, it was later because there was one for Valentine's Day. Here's an example of posted student work. I believe this was kindergarten, the writing objective and the shared student work. And this is posted outside the classroom. This is actually a kindergarten class research project that they did on hurricanes. And here, the second, third, and fourth graders turn their Wonder Journals into me, and I have the pleasure of reading them. So over the years, I've gleaned a few of their best questions, and these are some of them. Why are clocks shaped like circles? I thought that was a good question. Why is our thumb short? I wonder why they sell guns. And actually, I wrote this question down. It was the year we had a student who was shot and killed in a home invasion 3 years ago. Why do we bleed when we get cut? Why do we have calendars? And who invented homework? We do have a balanced literacy approach for our language arts instruction. We believe that is a framework that meets the needs of most of our learners. However, like I mentioned to you, it doesn't meet the needs of all of our learners, but we believe in balanced literacy because it does address phonics, phonemic awareness, fluency, comprehension, and vocabulary. And the classroom instruction components include word study, shared reading, shared writing, guided reading, independent reading, and literacy workstations. With a gradual release of responsibility, with the teacher doing lots of modeling, scaffolding instruction. Kids try it with teacher support so that eventually children internalize the skills and are able to practice it on their own and demonstrate it independently. So moving from teacher control to more student control, and this is sort of an ongoing philosophical discussion with the teachers. They don't realize it's a philosophical discussion, but how you approach instruction day to day, whether or not the teacher is the center of everything or you're giving that control over to children and making them more independent, that's what we're wanting for our students. So modeling lots of reading aloud, modeled writing, shared reading, and interactive writing, working with small groups so that eventually students are doing that independently. These are things that you would see in our classrooms, pictures that we've taken over the years. Lots of anchor charts. This is a cause and effect anchor chart. This is actually a guided reading group. We've done a lot of staff development through the years. Debbie Diller, Fountas and Pinnell, Tony Stead, Jennifer Jacobson we had this summer, more guided reading. These are children in literacy workstations, Big Book Station. This is an overhead or poetry station, shared reading. So now I'm going to talk for just a minute a little bit about building and sustaining a collaborative school culture focused on student achievement, and RTI and how you approach interventions is a big part of that. So we're going to talk about response to intervention, a common vision and beliefs, team planning, peer observations, book studies, common language and conversations. I feel like one of my biggest tools, it's an informal tool, is I get to set the agenda. So what we talk about ends up being a reflection of what's important to me, and I don't say that in a very directive way. I just realize that I have the responsibility and the opportunity to shape the conversations at my campus through the things that we talk about and the agendas that we set. And student work and accomplishments are shared and displayed. So we're going to talk about RTI for just a moment and what it means to us and what it looks like and a little bit of the history at our campus.